He stole food from my fridge. That was the first thing Claire Thompson shouted in court. The judge entered the courtroom and took his seat. Case number 7237, Judge Hamilton announced. Claire Thompson versus Darnell Brooks. He looked up and called both parties to the podium. Claire Thompson, the plaintiff, stepped forward. Darnell Brooks, the defendant, followed behind. Judge Hamilton addressed Claire. Miss Thompson, we'll start with you. You are seeking $20,000 in damages for, what is this? You had construction done in your house, and you're saying the defendant caused those damages. Am I reading that correctly? Claire replied, yes. Judge Hamilton continued, okay, ma'am, can you tell us what happened? Claire said, well, I hired a handyman to handle some repairs around the house, appliances, small fixes, that sort of thing, but he didn't finish the job. After 4 days of showing up late and leaving early, he disappeared, and he stole food from my fridge. Judge Hamilton asked, I'm sorry. He did what? Claire answered, he stole food from my fridge, drinks and beer, without even asking me, and also he videotaped me without my consent. Judge Hamilton leaned in. What do you mean he videotaped you? That's just a very weird thing. How did you know he videotaped you? Claire responded, because I found the video. Judge Hamilton looked confused. You saw the video? Claire confirmed. Yeah, he put it online. Judge Hamilton, now visibly surprised, asked, and did you just say he put it online? Claire said, yes, he did, Your Honor. The entire courtroom stiffened. Then slowly, Judge Hamilton turned to the defendant. Mr. Brooks, wow, there are some pretty strong allegations against you. Mind telling us what happened? Before we go further, tell us, where are you watching from? Drop your city or country in the comments. We'd love to know. What would you do if someone dragged your name through the mud in court like this? Ever been falsely accused? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you believe the truth always comes out, make sure to like this video and subscribe to Story Arc for more real stories like this. Darnell calmly responded, let me begin by saying the accusations Mr. Thompson has made are either completely untrue or highly misleading. Darnell Brooks stood firm at the podium and began. Yes, she did hire me to do some repair work at her house. That part's true. But as for the so-called damages she's referring to, I have no idea what she means. When I left on my final day, there was nothing damaged that could have come from the work I did. Judge Hamilton held up a hand. All right, let me stop you right there. He turned back to the plaintiff. Miss Thompson, what specific work did you hire Mr. Brooks to do? Claire Thompson replied. I brought him in to repair the toilet, the shower, and a few appliances around the house, but he didn't finish the job, which caused leaking pipes, water damage, and even some black mold starting to develop. Judge Hamilton nodded. All right. And you mentioned this was over a span of 4 days? Claire said, yes, 4 days of work. Judge Hamilton then looked at Darnell. Mr. Brooks, does that sound accurate regarding the tasks she described hiring you for? Darnell said, the list of tasks is correct, yes. I did work on what she asked. The shower, the toilet, the piping. He continued, however, the reason I left early was because I wasn't paid for my work. I have a personal policy. Clients pay half up front and the rest upon completion. Judge Hamilton asked, all right, and how much were you supposed to be paid for this job? Darnell answered, $20,000. So did she pay you the initial $10,000? The judge asked. No, she did not, said Darnell. Judge Hamilton raised an eyebrow. All right, so you just mentioned your policy is half up front and the other half upon completion? Did I hear that correctly? Yes, that's correct, Darnell replied. Judge Hamilton leaned forward. So based on that, she would have owed you $10,000 before the work even began, if my math is right. But you went ahead and did the job without receiving that payment? Darnell nodded. Yes. I saw the condition of her appliances and figured I'd cut her some slack. Start the work while she figured things out. I thought maybe I could just charge her $1,000 per appliance instead. And once I finished that part, then she could pay me the remaining balance. Have you ever done someone a favor only to have it blow up in your face later? What would you have done in Darnell's shoes? Let us know in the comments. Judge Hamilton leaned back in his chair and addressed both of them. All right. Did the two of you sign any kind of contract regarding this arrangement? Claire shook her head slightly as Darnell replied, no, there wasn't a written contract. It was all verbal. Judge Hamilton turned to Claire. Do you agree that the agreement between you two was verbal? Does it sound accurate that he quoted you $20,000 for the job and explained his policy of $10,000 up front and $10,000 upon completion? Claire nodded. Yes, that's correct. She tried to continue, but Judge Hamilton raised his hand. Before we get to that part, ma'am, let me clarify something. He stated that his policy was to collect $10,000 up front, half the total cost, before starting the work. Now, he said he put that aside and still began the job for you. Did you agree? Okay, I know I don't have it now. Or why didn't you pay him the $10,000 before he started? Claire replied, well, Your Honor, he was coming in late and leaving early. Judge Hamilton cut in. I get that, but according to him, the payment policy was made clear before any work began. Half up front, the rest upon completion. He still moved forward without receiving that initial payment. So again, why didn't you pay the $10,000 before he started? That's what I'm trying to understand. Claire hesitated. So, Your Honor, he basically told me he was going to finish all the tasks, but he didn't. Judge Hamilton leaned forward. Okay, so you don't have an answer as to why he decided to extend you that kind of courtesy or leniency? Claire dropped her voice. No, sir, I don't. Judge Hamilton nodded once. All right. He turned to his file. Now, you mentioned damages. The toilet, the shower, the appliances, leaking pipes, and black mold starting to form as a result. But here's the issue. I don't see anything to back that up. You haven't submitted any documents, photos, or repair assessments to this court. Nothing. Right now, it's your word against his, and there's no supporting evidence to verify your claims. Have you ever seen someone come to court empty-handed but full of accusations? What would you be thinking if you were the judge? If you believe excuses can't stand up to evidence, make sure to like this video and subscribe to Story Arc for more real stories like this. Claire Thompson tried to push back. Even the construction workers noticed there was damage, she said. Judge Hamilton asked, I understand that, but did you bring any of those workers in as witnesses today to support your claim? Claire's voice dropped. No, I didn't. Judge Hamilton turned his attention to Darnell Brooks. Let me ask you this. Now, the defendant has filed a countersuit against you for $50,000. According to this, it's for reimbursement of services rendered plus damages. Can you explain what damages you're claiming? Darnell replied, Well, Your Honor, she became extremely agitated. I'm not sure why. But her behavior escalated quickly. She was nearly physical and started making threats toward me. So I decided to record her. As you mentioned, the video ended up on social media. Judge Hamilton asked, and how did that recording come about? Darnell explained, like I said, she was getting aggressive, visibly irate, and I figured for my own protection it would be wise to capture it on video. That way, if Miss Thompson ever made false or misleading claims in court, I'd have something concrete to defend myself with. Judge Hamilton nodded. All right. Now, one of the other accusations Miss Thompson made was that you stole items from her refrigerator, specifically that you helped yourself without asking. Is that true? Darnell responded. Well, Your Honor, I can't speak to the claim about the beer or the rest of the food, but I'll be honest. I did take a single bottle of water from the fridge. It was an extremely hot day, and I was working on the air conditioning, which also needed repairs. I figured grabbing one bottle of water to stay hydrated while on the job wouldn't be a big deal. Claire quickly cut in. More than just one bottle. There was a 6-pack of beer, and there were 3 missing. Judge Hamilton responded, Miss Thompson, I understand your concerns. However, when it comes to the food, water, and beer you claim were taken from your refrigerator, there's a problem. I don't have any video evidence or documentation to support those claims. So once again, it's your word against his. What counts as real proof in court? Would you trust a claim without photos, paperwork, or a single witness? Drop your thoughts below. If you believe facts speak louder than feelings, be sure to like this video and subscribe to Story Arc for more real stories like this. Judge Hamilton looked directly at Claire. Now, he also mentioned that he began recording you because you were verbally mistreating him, he said. Ma'am, were you verbally aggressive toward him? Claire replied, I was just telling him, firmly, that you don't walk into someone's home and help yourself to what's in their fridge without asking. And also, he was coming in late and not doing work. But Judge Hamilton cut in. Ms. Thompson, unfortunately, the court has not been presented with any documentation, photos, or video evidence to substantiate the claim that there was damage to your home caused by the defendant. At this point, it's simply your word against his, and that presents a challenge. Without supporting evidence, I cannot rule in your favor on the matter of damages. Then he turned to Darnell. Now, Mr. Brooks, regarding your countersuit, you're requesting $50,000 for reimbursement of services rendered. However, you also have not provided any tangible proof that the work was actually completed at the property in question. Without that evidence, I cannot rule in your favor either. Darnell said, "Well, that's what I have this right here for. I have the cost of the material I had to buy." He opened a folder and handed it to the bailiff, who delivered it to the bench. Judge Hamilton flipped through the contents, then looked up. "She signed this?" he asked. Darnell nodded. The judge turned to Claire. "You signed this?" Claire stammered. "I don't know. Maybe. I don't know." Judge Hamilton cut her off. "I'm looking at a document, and this looks like your name. You signed a document. You told me it was verbal. I'm looking at a contract that you actually signed." He flipped another page. "Give me a second." After a long pause, he exhaled and closed the file. "I'm going to rule on behalf of the defendant," he said. "You're going to pay the $50,000 that he's requesting. The services he provided, $20,000, you will pay that, and an additional $25,000 for the damages you caused to him." Claire snapped. "Excuse me, I'm the victim here." Judge Hamilton stood. "No, ma'am. You are not the victim." Claire shouted, "Yes, I am." She pulled off her shoe. "This is crazy. I don't deserve this." She hurled the shoe at the bench. Judge Hamilton ducked, then ordered firmly, "You are hereby held in contempt of court. You are under arrest," he said. "Officer Daniels, get her out of my courtroom." Claire was cuffed as she was protesting. "Nobody does this to me. I didn't do anything." Judge Hamilton turned to Darnell. "Mr. Brooks, I am so sorry that you had to witness that display from Miss Thompson. Again, the court is going to rule in your favor. You will be awarded a $50,000 settlement. Court is adjourned." What would you have done if someone lied on you and then threw a shoe at the judge? Ever seen justice flip so fast? If you believe lies, always catch up with you like this video and subscribe to Story Arc for more real stories like this.